In this video, we're going to show you to install the oil pan on your Toyota Camry located on the bottom side of your engine. With the vehicle raised up, you want to locate the drain plug on the oil pan. It's a 14 millimeter. You can use a wrench, a socket, whatever you have. We're going to go ahead and use our socket on our impact unit. Loosen that. Now you want to go ahead and get your drain pan or catch can, whatever you have available, your drain bucket. Get that ready to go. And drain out your oil. Go ahead and grab a rag here and want to wipe this down. Clean the surface where the bolt is going to go. Now, if your drain plug has a washer on it, it's always best to go ahead and replace that washer, as they are normally a one-time use. I'm going to install our drain plug. Let's go ahead and tighten this down and we'll torque it into position. Go ahead and torque this to 29 foot-pounds. Once you're done torquing it, you want to go ahead and give it a spray with some solvent and clean that up. Now, between the oil pan and the transmission, there is a bracket on the front side right here. There's three 14 millimeter bolts. I want to go ahead and loosen and remove these. Now we're using a gear wrench right here. Sometimes you might need your ratchet or even a breaker bar, depending on how tight they are. Remove that bracket and set it aside. Remove this shield. It actually goes on the lower portion of the transmission. And there are two 10 millimeter bolts going vertically. There's one on the front side here, and our back one here is missing. So we're gonna go ahead and use our 10 millimeter swivel and extension and go ahead and get to the front one. Now when we remove this here, there would normally be another bolt here and here. These are both 14 millimeter. Ours were missing, so we had three bolts missing on ours. But if yours has them, go ahead and remove those. Two 10 millimeter on the front here, two 14s here. Around the perimeter of our pan, we have a series of 10 millimeter bolts. We're gonna go ahead and loosen and remove all of these all the way around the back side. As we get to the front portion toward the transmission, we will slowly loosen those and bring the pan down. Let's go ahead and start. So you want to hold this oil pan up in place as you remove your last bolt. Lower that pan down. Slide that down and out. I'm going to use some black RTV. I'm not going to coat the whole thing because we have a cork gasket we're going to be using. So I'm just going to put a little bit of RTV in a couple spots. And this is just going to kind of keep the gasket in place while we install the pan. line up the holes on the gasket. That RTV should just kind of hold it in place. All right, now we're going to let this set for a couple minutes. Let's go over and clean up the bottom side of the engine. On the bottom side of the engine, I want to go ahead and start to clean up the surface here. Before we install the pan, use some spray solvent on a rag or a towel. Go all the way around the perimeter again and clean up any residual oil. We want to make sure that this is clean as possible for that cork gasket to seal to. All right, it's clean. Go ahead and work your pan up into position. Now the ideal thing that you want to do is get a few of these bolts started. I'm going to run these up by hand. Now, I'm not going to make them tight, but I do want to make sure that they're snug. That way they'll hold the pan in place. Now that we have all of our bolts started, I'm just going to come back with my ratchet and I want to go ahead and run those down. And I'm not going to tighten them, I just want these bolts to be bottomed out. Once we get all of these in, we're going to come back and torque them into place. Now that we have all of our bolts snugged, we actually went around 2 times. So we just snug those down gently. Let's come on back and torque them down. Let's go ahead and torque our oil pan bolts to 48 inch-pounds. We're going to go all the way around the pan, and then we're going to do it a complete second time. And we'll just wrap up with our last one. This is our second time going all the way around. Let's go ahead and feed our shield up into place here. And then get our forward 10mm bolt started. Our other bolt over here. Let's go ahead and get these snug down. Go ahead and feed the bracket up into place. All right, these 3 are all set. Now that we have our pan all torqued in place, don't forget to double check the torque spec on your drain plug. This should be at 29 foot-pounds. Come on up to the top of your valve cover here and you're going to locate your oil fill cap. Go ahead and spin that counterclockwise. Remove it. You want to go ahead and grab an appropriate funnel. Make sure it's clean. Go ahead and set that up in there. We're now going to add 3.8 quarts of oil to this particular vehicle, making sure you use the appropriate oil recommended from the manufacturer. Go ahead and remove that funnel. Place that cap on there. Thread that down, make sure that it's good and snug. Go ahead and remove your rags if you have any down here. Your next step is hop into the vehicle. You want to go ahead and start it up. Let it run for about 30 seconds and shut it down. Come on back underneath the hood here. Grab that oil dipstick. You're going to pull this out. And you want to give this another wipe because you will have some oil splashed onto the dipstick. You're going to reinsert it and pull it back out. And what you want to look for is that the oil level is right at the top of our crosshatch area. And on our vehicle, it is. So we're at our perfect level. Go ahead and reinstall that dipstick. Fully seat that. You're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.